wanted to test it out. Now, the director's not very old. Loose suit, loose tie, sleeves turned back. Says his name is Simon, which I instantly committed to memory, as that's one of the points in the book. Purpose and use of name. He said, forgive me this crazy time. I said, I'm sorry, Simon. He said, 9:30 in the morning? I said, well, Simon, 9:30 in the morning. The day begins when the day begins. You're the director. He said, yes, well, can you tell me what you've done? I said, well, Simon, what you might know me from is in Tess. Roman Polanski. I played Chloe. He said, I don't remember her. Was she in the book? I said, book, Simon. This is Tess. Roman Polanski. Chloe was the girl on the back of the farm cart wearing the shawl. The shawl was original 19th century embroidery, all hand done. Do you know Roman, Simon? He said, not personally, no. I said, well, physically, he's quite small. But we had a very good working relationship, very open. He said that was good, because Travis in the film is very open. I said, Travis, Simon, that's a very interesting name. He said, yes, well, she's a very interesting character. She spends the majority of the film on the back of a yacht. I said, a yacht, Simon? That's very interesting. He said, well, Leslie, I'd love to sit and chat, and in an ideal world we could. But I know it's only 9:30 in the morning, but could I see you in your bra and panties? I said, 9:30 in the morning, Simon, 10:30 at night. We're both professionals, but would you mind sticking another bar on? Because I'm afraid, if not, you might not be able to tell the difference between my tits and my crisp pimples. That's another point in the book. Humour, usefulness in the breaking of the ice. Once I got all my things off, he said, good, you've passed the physical, now for the oral. Do you play chess? I said, chess, Simon, as in the musical? He said, no, the game. I said, well, no, Simon, I'm afraid I don't. Is that going to be a problem? He said, not if you can water ski. You said, you see, Travis is fundamentally an outdoor girl, but we thought it might be quite fun to make her an intellectual on the side. I said, well, Simon, I'm very happy to learn both chess and water skiing, but may I make a suggestion? Reading generally indicates a studious temperament, and well, I'm a very convincing reader. That's something I do frequently in my spare time. I could tell he was impressed, so I said, oh, another suggestion I could make, Simon, is to kick Travis out with some glasses. Spectacles, Simon. These days, they're not unbecoming, and well, if Travis had a pair of spectacles on and something in paperback, that says it all. He said, thank you, that's very helpful. He was showing me out by this point, and I said, just one more thought, Simon, and that's the briefcase. If you give Travis a briefcase and have her in a bikini, well, then you have the best of every possible world. He said, I'm most grateful. You've been very helpful. I've got a lot of ideas. I said, thank you, Simon, and goodbye. I hope we can work together. Now, the drill for saying goodbye is you take a person's hand, clasp yours warmly over theirs, look into their eyes, smile, and reiterate their name. This lodges you firmly in their mind, apparently. So I did all that, only on the stairs on the way out I had another thought, so I popped back up. Simon was on the phone. You won't believe this, he was saying. I said, don't hang up, Simon, only I thought I'd just make it crystal clear that when I said a briefcase, I didn't mean the old-fashioned ones, no, I meant these new type of briefcases that open out into a mini writing desk right on your lap. Being an up-to-the-minute type girl, this is probably the sort of briefcase that Travis might have. You could have her sitting on the deck of the yacht in a wet bikini, briefcase open on her lap. I've never seen that on a screen before, Simon. I'm sure it'll be some kind of first. Ciao, Simon. Take care. Now, please don't misunderstand me. I have no objection to taking my top off, but you see, Travis, as I was playing her, wasn't the sort of girl who would take her top off. I said, Nigel, I'm a professional. Credit me with a little experience. It isn't Travis. I'd been sitting on the deck of this yacht as background all day while two older men had a conversation which I had only to presume was a business discussion. One of the men, who was covered in hair and had a real weight problem, was my boyfriend, apparently. You knew he was my boyfriend because at an earlier junction you'd seen him hit me across the face. Travis is meant to be a good time girl, but you never actually see me having a very good time. Just sitting on the deck of this freezing cold yacht, plastering on suntan lotion. I said, Nigel, I don't know whether your cameraman spotted it, but would I be sunbathing? There's no sun. He said, no, sun is favourite. Nigel is the first assistant, here, there, and everywhere. Gunther never speaks. Not to me, anyway. He just stands behind the camera with a little cap on. Got a patch on Roman. Roman always had a smile for everybody. Anyway, so I'm sitting on the deck of this yacht as background, and I say to Nigel, Nigel, am I right in thinking I'm a denizen of the cocktail belt? He said, why? A bit guardedly. And I said, well, because, Nigel, to me this implies a cigarette holder. And I produced quite a modest one that I just happened to have brought with me. And then he went to spoke to Gunther, only Gunther ruled that there was to be no smoking. I said, on the grounds of health? He said, no, on the grounds of it making continuity a bugger. I'd also brought a paperback with me, just to make it easier for props, only I'd hardly got it open before Nigel came and relieved me of it and said they were going for the suntan lotion instead. I said, Nigel, I don't think the two are incompatible. I can apply suntan lotion and read at the same time. That is what professionalism means. Went to spoke to Gunther, came back and said, no, suntan lotion is favourite. I said, Nigel, can I ask you something else? He said, go on. I said, what is it my boyfriend is discussing? He said, business. I said, Nigel, am I right in thinking it's a drug steal? He said, does it matter? I said, it matters to me. It matters to Travis. It helps my character. He said, what would help your character is if you took your top off. I said, Nigel, would Travis do that? We know she plays chess. She also reads. Is Travis the type of girl to go topless? He said, who do you think you're playing? Emily Bronte? Gunther wants to see your knockers. I couldn't even look at him. I just took my top off without a word and started applying the suntan lotion with all the contempt I could muster. We did the shot, and Nigel came over and said that Gunther liked it, but if I could give him a whisker more sensuality, it might be worth a close-up. I did the shot again, and Nigel came over and said that Gunther liked what I was giving them, and in the next shot could I remove my bikini bottoms? I said, Nigel, trust me, Travis would not do that. He said, I'll go and speak to Gunther. He went to speak to Gunther, came back and said, well, Gunther agrees with me. The real Travis wouldn't, but by displaying herself naked in front of the boyfriend's business associate, she is showing a contempt for her whole way of life. I said, finally, Nigel. Gunther is finally giving me something I can relate to. He said, right, let's shoot it. Elbow the bikini bottom.